Welcome back to Night of the Living Review. This game sucks so bad, looks terrible, story is nonsense, and the worst sin is that his gameplay is unplayably fast and completely garbage timing and pacing. Might as well be rapping in real life because that'd be easier. Parappa the Rapper. Abandoned by W. Meal. 1 star out of 5. Figured out why the person who played this game before me only had 30 minutes on their save file. Incredibly bland JRPG, putting all its effort into its pretty standard if smooth gameplay loop and having no care at all for creating any narrative intrigue. Considered seeing the game through for a while to see how bad it could get, until I experienced an over-level enemy in the first area and found out that you lose all progress when dying in a battle. The 45 minutes I lost weren't very fun. Fuck no, do I want to waste my time doing it again. The Legend of Legacy. Abandoned by Bullfrog 10 on the 3DS. 2 stars out of 5. Didn't understand the story and the game was trippy as hell. Control. Abandoned by BIS on Windows PC. 3 stars out of 5. There are better ways to play Tetris, but I love the special meter thing here. It actually adds a lot and is a very smart addition to the traditional Tetris gameplay loop. Not sure how it works out for casual/endless play, because again, this game kinda looks like crap, so why play the endless mode? It's too clean and hard to read the tetronymos. Why is it all gotta be 3D? What about Tetris that looks like a coloring book or something? IDK, they could have gone way cooler than this. The city level with the jazz piano was great though. Tetris Effect. Completed by Dilf Tones. 2.5 stars out of 5. This would be Kiryu's minigame if he had digital trips like in Watch Dogs. Crazy Taxi, as played on Dreamcast by Joe Perotta. 3 stars out of 5. I first heard of this game from my friend who played it back in 2020. After about a few years since then, out of nowhere, I remembered it existed and finally decided to play through it and see how great of a game he really said it was. To say I was not prepared for it was an understatement. There were a lot of things I didn't like about the game, the animations being delayed, the NPCs getting me stuck to a room for almost half an hour, the AI of some monsters running away mid-combat, among other issues, but that didn't stop me from having a good time and enjoying the game for what it was. The factions were distinguishable by what they were, from the scientific people of Igmet, the religious preservers of Saint Matthias, to the seafaring knots. This game did a great job with creating characters that had personalities despite having a number of characters to talk to. One of my favorite things about the game is how your choices really do matter. I remembered when I first started doing side quests that had alterations to my relationships with certain factions, and I enjoyed hearing the dialogue whenever one faction would not favor you over the other because of your choices, though I wish they would have utilized the open world a lot more. But considering how the travel pause was probably to save up some space for players' devices, I hope they at least expand on the idea a little bit more. Other than that, pretty memorable game despite the few setbacks I had. Will I be replaying it immediately? No, but maybe in the future.
I will.
Greedfall, completed on Windows PC by It's RG. 3 stars out of 5. One of my favorite FPS games ever, and one of the best Star Wars games. Darker and grittier than most SW media, with its own unique squad-based mechanics, punchy shooting, and a gripping story. Star Wars Republic Commando, completed on the Xbox by Virtuous Scimitar. 4.5 stars out of 5. The video game equivalent of those posts you see on Twitter where someone will say, animation isn't just for kids, and then use 4 stills from movies absolutely made for children as an example. An unbearable chore. The gimmick of the storybook visuals feels played out after you've seen about 4 pages. Every room is like the anti-puzzle, the most obvious roadblock and clear-cut solution. After the first hour, it's clear that a puzzle's function in this game is to slow you to a halt so that they can have some stupid DJ wizard explain how the most baby-brain mechanic works to the point of condescension. Figured it would get more interesting once the dimensional shifting stuff comes into play, but it just becomes more clunky and annoying. This type of thing gets a sort of plot armor wear, just like with a lot of kids' movies. If you're critical of it, you're told you must hate fun and or you're clearly forgetting it's for kids. I despise this kind of discourse because it assumes that stuff made for children is immune from critique and that kids don't deserve more ambitious or more interesting works. This game is just like that. It's not cute or charming. It's like a Fisher-Price toy that a kid outgrows and abandons in a few months because they want something more interesting. The Plucky Squire, abandoned by JKVLNT, as played on the PlayStation 5. 1.5 stars out of 5. Vile game. Feels like it was designed to hurt children. The people at Nintendo should be ashamed for having made it. The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, as completed on the Nintendo 64 by Syrup. Half a star out of 5. This is a decent platformer. I like the variety of environments, and the comedic flavor shines through pretty well. The controls and physics are improved from the first game, so that's a welcome change. PUBG 2, completed on the SNES by Galrog. 4 stars out of 5.
Thank you for listening to Night of the Living Reviews. Like and subscribe for more. You don't have to be afraid to comment.